Is it a mistake for the Prime Minister to go abroad when the polls are bad? It often happens. But is it wise when there's need to take charge of the domestic agenda? There is, after all, plenty to do. We are in the midst of a cost of living crisis, the small boat crossings, there's a lack of energy security, energy prices have risen, crime is ravaging our cities. So why isn't the Prime Minister here focusing on the domestic issues rather than making friends with a president who doesn't actually like the UK in the first place? When you have a 51% disapproval rating, it may be tempting to hobnob with the great and the good globally, the red carpet, the mass bands, the luxury of Blair House, which is where the president puts up his most favoured guests, won't win any votes in the United Kingdom. But also, why go and see Biden? Because we know Biden is unsympathetic to us. He doesn't like the UK, unlike most Americans. Most Americans are extremely friendly. Indeed, my late grandmother was an American who married an Englishman, so she must have liked the English quite a lot, or we hope she did. Last month, President Biden said his trip to Ireland was to stop Britain, if you'll forgive the foul language, screwing around over the Belfast Agreement, and so that Northern Ireland didn't walk away from their commitments. Previously, it was reported that he said he hates the English, and he allegedly recalled his aunt telling him when he was young, words he clearly took to heart, "Your father's not a bad man, he's just English." But actions speak louder than words. In the 1980s, he voted against the extradition treaty in 1985 when IRA terrorists were remaining in the USA. He and a number of other senators tried to block a treaty that would have made it easier to prosecute them in the UK. Indeed, Mr. Biden has even been pictured grinning with convicted IRA terrorist Rita O'Hare, along with the champion of Britain-hating Gerry Adams. Biden, unfortunately, is the biggest threat to the special relationship since Sir Winston Churchill coined the phrase in 1944. Unlike Margaret Thatcher and President Reagan, mutual respect, a shared vision of freedom, a personal compatibility is nowhere to be seen. And that comes back to the fundamental point. Elections are won and lost on domestic policy. The PM's in tray is overflowing. He needs to be at home, accountable to Parliament. He missed Prime Minister's questions today. Why didn't he go abroad in the parliamentary recess last week? We need him here. We need decisions to be made. We need good government. We don't need hobnobbing with the great and the good abroad.